to your reading. I'm going to be drawing some cards to show your present situation. We'll look a little bit into the recent past that may still be influencing your present, and then we'll see how these energies are developing moving into your near future. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for your patience with me. I actually have spent some time away learning how to protect my energy. These YouTube readings are a very, very wide net, and I'm opening myself up when I do these reads to lots of energies coming in. And so I realised after my first few readings that in order to continue doing this, I really needed to learn how to protect my energy, to set up some energetic boundaries. So here I am, I'm ready to give it another go. And so because of that, with that in mind, it will be a shorter reading than the ones that we're used to, but we'll just see how it goes, okay? So thank you for being here, thank you for sharing your time with me, and let's go. Recent past energies for Scorpio, please. Recent past energies for Scorpio, please. Recent past energies for Scorpio, please. For Scorpio Collective, recent past energies for Scorpio. Recent past energies for Scorpio, please. Must admit, Scorpio, the cards feel a little bit kind of erratic. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. So recently been focusing on making yourself independent and financially stable. So there's definitely an emphasis on finances here, but it's also about independence, being confident and secure. So whether that's in yourself, who you are as a person, or whether that's in keeping more with finances in your business. But I'd say you've been in the recent past driven, very driven, focused on your goals. Anything else? Wow, 2 queens. So for some of you, there may be a female relationship that's very taken the spotlight in your recent past. For some of you, it could be a mending of a relationship, a healing of a relationship, but for some, therefore, maybe some conflicts or quarrels, or learning actually that you're quite different from somebody maybe that you felt that you were very similar to. Anything else, please, in the recent past for Scorpio? Okay, you've been learning, it seems to me, Scorpio, recently, how to protect your energy and protect yourself. You've had to stick up for yourself in your recent past. Perhaps in terms of this relationship with somebody who's a female figure or female energy in your life. Someone perhaps that you've been nurturing, helping, giving a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, and something's happened where you felt the need to defend yourself, stick up for yourself, and stand your ground. So yeah, so recent past energies, to summarise, Scorpio, thinking of yourself a little bit more, putting yourself first a bit more, and that's in terms of relationships, but also how you view your work, making sure you prioritise yourself, your financial situation, your independence, and sticking up for yourself, speaking up a little bit more maybe when that's been needed. So let's see the present energies now, please. So with all that in mind, Scorpio, you feel at the moment like things aren't necessarily going the way that you had hoped for them to go, maybe expected them to go. You feel really like luck is not on your side at the moment and things just aren't slotting into place. Maybe that's because of some issues in relationships that you've had, maybe linked to boundaries, maybe linked to focusing on yourself. If you're a very giving, loving person, then it might be very difficult for you to draw lines in certain situations. So you might be experiencing some feelings of guilt, worry, that sort of thing, because you're so giving and loving, but trying to make sure that that's not taken advantage of, and that's why you're standing your ground. And also in terms of work, I think because you've put so much focus in other places and other things, that may have had an impact in you feeling, in you not being exactly where you need to be or wanted to be at the moment. So you feel like the time's just not right. You've not got everything in order, not got everything quite in place financially as you wanted, which is difficult considering you've worked so hard in the recent past to get yourself into a very independent place. What else do we have? Present energies, please, for Scorpio. So that could be making you feel a little bit stuck energetically. For those who related to an issue in a relationship, someone's really let you down, and I think someone might be ghosting you, which is like your worst fear with this person. There's been some kind of crosswords, somebody likely an air sign or with lots of air in their charts, or somebody who is in their head a lot and usually is quite logical, very business minded. I think that they're responding to you in a way that's really hurting you. Things haven't gone. That explains again why you feel things haven't gone really the way that you wanted them to go. Not quite understanding the way that this relationship is transforming, but it is transforming, and it's not really how you wanted it to go. However, if it is in terms of protecting yourself, then it seems to me like it's a necessary change, but I think it's painful. What else, please? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Okay. So there's obviously at least two messages coming out here, possibly three. Bear with me. Okay. This is a relationship. I don't think it's the same as what I've mentioned. This is more of a romantic relationship I'm talking about now, whereas the vibe I got for the first one I've been talking about so far is a family or co-worker or friendship. For those of you who have been in love or have been in a relationship, you've also seen a loss there. Things just not quite, I feel like everything's going against you at the moment, Scorpio. Things just not working out. There seemed to be a love interest where you really connected with someone, felt that there was potential for something wonderful long term, so much so that you actually thought it was finally the person that you've been waiting for. At the moment your energy is kind of recovering from this position, and I think you almost went from feeling like this new person was somebody who's going to help you heal, that you could help them heal as well. And then now actually there's distance and you're retreating from the situation. They've retreated, you've retreated, there's distance between you. And there's also a sense of hiding. I feel someone's hiding, someone's avoiding what's going on here. The other message. So it seems to me that you've had some great epiphanies regarding big life lessons, and I think you've broken through something. It's like there was a brick wall in front of you that you kept banging your head against, and finally you were able to knock down the wall and to crawl through the rubble and to poke your head out of the other side. And now that you're poking your head out of the other side, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and I think there are at times you feel like you want to turn around, retreat, and go back to what you're familiar to, but actually this is part of you learning to let your past go and to walk away from the rubble, because you've learned a lot, you've given a lot as well. You've also given a lot of time and effort and energy into understanding the past, into understanding how and why things are the way that they are, why they happen in certain ways. And I'm getting something. Calling. Okay, so for some of you it's literally regarding a calling in life, that you had built your life up to a certain point where it looked very sturdy and stable on the outside, but maybe it didn't connect with you on the inside, and so you've realized that, and you've needed to completely change your life in order to connect back with something that is calling you, basically, whether that's a person or a thing. But you've learned that it's okay to let the things fall away from the past that aren't in line with your authentic self, to learn the lessons that you needed to, and to move forward. Now, for some, with the judgment here being in reverse, I think you've been waiting for someone to come back to you, waiting for some kind of call as well, judgment call. I think you're not getting closure with a romantic relationship that you've been waiting for, not getting the not fairness, but the give and take. I feel that maybe you've reached out, or you've done the work basically, and you're waiting for that other person to come back to you and say, I understand now, and I'm sorry, and I can see why this was like this, and I can see why this was like that, and like let's kind of move forward together. But it's not happening, and I'm not sure that you're going to get the apology that you've been waiting for in the present moment. I think actually more than that, I think you're realizing that you need to not wait for the other person to have the epiphany moment. I think you've been extremely giving and understanding and generous to others, and you're realizing actually that doesn't always come back. And so then maybe you wait for people to have this epiphany, to realize how good you were to them, to realize what you've done for them, and then they don't, it just doesn't come forward. And I think this is part of the lesson that is really difficult, but that you need to learn. And the thing that's stopping you from really pulling yourself out of the rubble and opening yourself up to the sunshine and the new landscape that's there before you, for the fresh, fertile soil that's ready to be built upon, is you're looking back over your shoulder into the rubble, waiting to see if that person's going to climb over it last minute and say, I see you, I understand, I'm sorry, and I see what you did for me, and I see how you feel, and all of these things. Now actually coming, I feel, to the realization that you can't hold on for that any longer, and you're going to leave the past behind, and actually it's a good direction for you to move in. You've been seeking, and now is the right time to detach from that situation and to seek something else. The advice is to not be afraid of leaving the past behind, basically. So for some of you it could be physically moving away, but for most of you I feel that it's emotionally. needing to leave something behind. The pain needs to be released in order for you to heal and move forward. And also, it feels like it's a time of transition, but there's, like, I felt very erratic energy when I was shuffling the cards, and I think that there's some restlessness. Whilst you're feeling like nothing's really happening the way that you wanted it to, there's a lot of restlessness, which is causing you to place a lot of energy in the things that aren't working, rather than looking at the fresh, fertile soil ahead of you and leaving all of that behind. So really the advice here is to move on. And I think that that's what you're coming to terms with. So let's see the future energies, please, for Scorpio. Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Scorpio. It is great news regarding all this work that you have done for your business, for your work, to be financially secure and stable. You are going to be stable, don't you worry. In the future, that's how all this work that you've put in is going to evolve. You have got 3 queens on the table, by the way, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to consult my book, because when I've made a few notes of some observations I've noticed when we have repetitive, or more than one, or certain cards from different suits showing up. So bear with me, because this is significant. Okay, so 3 queens can lead to some kind of deception. So definitely just looking out for maybe a bit of jealousy, or a bit of an unfair relationship where someone's giving and someone's just expecting and not really giving or acknowledging back in return. So that's just a slight side note there for some of you. But financially, in terms of your stability, with the 9 and the 10 of the Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, this is you feeling so passionate about what you're doing, and it really shines through. And not only do you move yourself into a position of financial security and independence, but then it gets bigger than that, and you turn it into something really, really profitable. It's going to be more profitable than you could have imagined. So I'm really happy to see that for you, Scorpio. Near future energies, please, for Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. The relationship, probably family or friend or co-worker, there is a transformation happening now in the present that we saw that's quite difficult, and in the near future it's going to continue to transform in this difficult way. I think that you're putting a lot of blame on yourself. I mentioned at the beginning, if you're a people pleaser, suddenly kind of putting up some stronger boundaries for your well-being. You're possibly struggling with feelings of guilt or shame for doing so, and maybe worrying, causing yourself a lot of worry, overthinking whether or not you've done the right thing, whether you handled things well, whether or not things were communicated effectively. And the thing is here though, Scorpio, it's not to take the blame for the way that this relationship is transforming, because it's nothing that you've done wrong. In fact, you've been I can see you've been very giving, very nurturing, very caring, very compassionate, very giving to this person. So it seems to me like the transformation is a necessary transformation. It's just very difficult and it is painful. but it's not over, but it's just the way that the relationship is now is over, and it's going to transform into something different. Any further future energies, please? Okay, so I'm seeing, oh, okay, interesting. I'm seeing in the near future, having moved on and decided that it's time to move on from this person that's not coming back in the way that you'd hoped, that's not kind of ready to learn and move on in the way that you'd hoped. It's nothing bad about them, by the way. I actually feel that they're just not quite finished healing from some of their own stuff. You're ready to take a leap of faith in a brand new direction, and to kind of like put yourself out there and see what else is available around the corner. Funny, I don't know why I said around the corner, but literally around the corner we've got the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So I do feel energies quickening up, and with the Queen and King of Pentacles both on the table too, I think you could be meeting somebody that's very similar to you in terms of line of business. They work in the same sort of field, or you've got similar sort of interests, or you approach work in the same sort of way. And I think that this person is a bit more established than you are. They've had a bit more experience so far than you have in your line of work. And I actually think that you could be working together. And I think you're going to do something that kind of is a bit surprising even for you, in terms of taking a chance on this person or on this partnership, this relationship. It could even be not romantic. It could be more in a finance or a business sense, where maybe they'll guide you, that we have to guide you or help you because you share some similarities, and I think that they can see the potential in you, and they respect and admire how hard you've worked so far. That they'll be willing to kind of take you under their wings. They see how brave you are, they see how hard you've worked, and I think they respect you for that, and I can definitely see some working together here. There's also, though, there's also a very speedy kind of energy coming in here that is asking you, although you're prepared to go for it, to take a risk and do something new, the advice is to just slow down and make sure that you're not acting on anything too hastily, because you don't want to make any decisions too quickly. And it's also advising you that you don't get too reliant or too close on the energies of other people, so that it skews or takes your focus away from your ideas and what you want to do and how you wanted to do it. So actually, I feel like this is a lesson in asserting yourself, which links in really well to how we started in this line of energy, this idea of feeling the need to protect yourself, defend yourself. You're going to need to find a way to, well, what I can see that you are doing is finding a way to work with other people, to work together, to reason with people, to have fun with people, but to not have your boundaries pushed, because what happens there is you end up feeling resentful. And so I think there might be a couple of times where you need to find the right balance for that, but I do see that's happening. However, we have got here as well the Four of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. So it's related to possessions. There's a little bit of potentially envy. Do you know as well, I'm wondering if there's too much time being put into work life moving forward, Scorpio. Maybe possibly as a distraction. I mean, you are so successful in that, so I'm not saying not to do that, but I think you also need to there's a lot of focus on work moving forward, and I think that's in a way distracting you from some of the more difficult things we've got going on here in relationships. focusing on work to move forward, but this is about possibly too much time going into work. I think you might find that the challenges weigh on you a little bit heavily, or it could also be demands of others. There's a bit of an imbalance here. I do see an imbalance of energies, basically. Too much focus on work and too much focus on giving and being there and the demands of other people, basically. So it's all part of the same, what we've been seeing so far. But moving into the future, I can see that you are making a concerted effort to view things slightly differently, rather than shying away from everything because of you don't want people to take you for granted or to take too much from you without giving in return. Instead, actually, it's a case of, no, I'm prepared to go for opportunities, take risks, take chances, meet new people, but then draw the line when I feel that someone's becoming too demanding of me, knowing when it's okay to draw the line. Great, so Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. That's what I have for you. If it resonates with you, please let me know. You can like. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much, Archangel Michael, for protecting our energies here. Thank you, and please continue to shine the light for those who need it. Love and light to you all, Scorpios. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.